Greetings and good Sunday to everybody. Thanks for being here for the Sunday Culture Review. We have an amazing panel here with us today. I want to first introduce the two amazing guests that we have with us. We have, of course, Clobberin Times, the man who knows comics better than probably almost anybody in the universe, I think. And,
comics? What are those?
I don't know, but you also have a channel that's well worth seeing, well over 1,200 subscribers now. Congratulations on your growth.
Thank you.
And I'm more than it's been, you should have been here much earlier. So I apologize for taking so long to drag you over here on a Sunday. So thank you.
I'm honored to be here. So thank you.
I don't know about that, but thank you for that. And why don't you tell everybody just a little bit about what you cover? Because maybe people aren't familiar with it.
Well, basically, you can see from one thing I cover is comic books a lot. Monday nights I name after our dear departed wonderful friend Mark C. Monday night, Mark C. Comics Talk, and I have various comic topics that I cover on there. Wednesday nights just kind of a wild card thing. Sometimes a topic, sometimes not. But and then Clobby's Clubhouse on Thursday nights with the wonderful Raquel Briggs and Mark D. with a C, my dear friends. And Saturday nights is the big one. Saturday Night Star Trek is the one that we're just having a wonderful time with. We're reviewing all of real Star Trek, 66 through 05 only. And we're right now smack dab in the middle of the Next Generation Season 5. And it's going to be a few years before we get through all the series. We've done them all, including animated series and movies.
Well, that's fantastic. That's great. And you guys go check out Clobberin Times. It's in the description. And if the mods want to throw that in the chat, that's great as well. And of course, we have the ever lovely and just amazing person and Jayne Theory joining us today, who
hello.
Explosive growth on your channel as well, young lady. Why don't you tell everybody about yourself?
I post movie and television reviews and occasionally some pop culture commentary. You can find me here on YouTube and Twitter and Twitch at Jayne Theory.
Yeah, and she does have just an incredible voice. I think you will all agree. So it's wonderful just to hear her read articles. So do check that out. Are you still doing those wonderful live streams, Jayne?
On Saturday morning? I haven't recently. I'm thinking about whether I want to continue those or move it to a better time
day.
slot. Yeah.
I believe me, I'm reevaluating my stuff too. But I feel like, once you get into a habit, it's just easier to maintain. But hey, but I do appreciate you both being here as our special guest today. And of course, the man that needs no introduction because of the artwork, we have our very good friend Machiny from Machiny Draws. What's up, Mach?
Hey guys, how's it going? Machiny 90 Arts Illustrator. Happy to be here on the Sunday Culture Review, of course, with the amazing great panelists, and of course, be back together with Jayne after a very explosive Fortnite stream that we had on Machiny Type R last night on Twitch. It was absolutely crazy. And happy to be here back again, once again with Clobberin Time, which I get to talk comics with him, and that's gonna be a lot of fun.
Absolutely, man. Great to see you.
Sounds amazing. Thank you, Mach. And then immediately next to him is one of the longest running panelists I've ever had, and a good friend, somebody who, like me, tries to make sure that we entertain the good, the talented, the diverse Wes Moody of the Wes Moody Webcast.
Oh, that was me. Okay. Yeah. Hey, everybody. Wes Moody here, the Wes Moody Webcast. Talk about current events, pop culture, occasional conspiracy theories, occasional car talk, gaming streams, and vlog about whatever the heck I want to, because it's my webcast. Good to be here on the Sunday Culture Review. I'm also working on an animated series called The Conspiracy Guy Chronicles. I've got the first 3 episodes written, and I'm just putting some polishing touches on it, and we're going to start making it soon. So that's very exciting. You might even see some folks on the panel up here in Conspiracy Guy Chronicles.
truly can't wait for that. I've been excited about this for going over a year now since Wes kind of started to hatch this idea, this plan. So I'm pretty stoked for that. And of course, we have another regular here with us, our very own veteran and turtle, Shellback TJC. What's up, man?
Hello. I just like to say I'm glad to be here underneath Jayne Theory. On the panel with Jayne Theory. And just grab your cup of Joe, everyone.
There you go.
And welcome.
That's
to
right.
the rebellion.
That's right. Welcome to the rebellion. If you guys saw that viral tweet that's been going around with everybody with the do not comply on their forearms, that was cool as heck. Have you guys seen that one?
Yeah.
It's very cool. And guys, I think they wrapped up the fourth and final time they were going to offer those particular designs on the t-shirt location. So hopefully the next design will be available at some future date, because those were very successful for 9line. So were the hats. They were very surprised. So congratulations to Drunk 3PO and everybody who got some of that gear. And of course, last but not least, another longtime panelist, probably the original panelist. I think both Wes and AFK Bard share that distinction. AFK, thanks for being here today.
Hi. Thanks for making me feel special every time. I'm like, yeah, an oldie. I'm here to hang out. I don't have anything new going on. But Shellback, thank you for the reminder, because I went out earlier and bought a latte and got distracted and left it sitting on the counter. So now I'm enjoying it.
All right, good. Yeah, we absolutely need it. Coffee's required for this chat. I'm so glad everybody's here. Let's say hi to some of the folks out in the chat before we get fired up and going. We got a lot to talk about. So here we go. We have Judicon hanging out with us on a Sunday. Appreciate that. We've got the Bosco scenario. What's up, Geiscar? Grifter is here, says hello to you, my friend. Annie Masterson is here as well. Good to see you. And Bashi Washi, Lord Thoth, Master Wrencher. We also have just hanging out, saying hi to everybody. Avon lives, of course. We've got Dragon Master 360 with us, and Chris Mead. Good to see you, my friend. The ever lovely Tina Bojan, who is here hanging out with us in the chat, which I absolutely appreciate. Yellow Flash did get fired up last night. If you have a chance to catch the replay, that's going to be worth your time. Pat S is here with us as well. Good to see you, my friend. And your Muslim uncle is here. And I'm going to try this again. Assalamu
alaikum.
That's what I thought. Yeah, I think I'm close, right? I'm getting there.
You're getting close. Yeah, definitely getting close.
Okay, I'm trying. Of course, D-Bud Martin is here. We've got LDG. What's up, Pickles? Hey, Tom's here. What's up, Tom?
Tom.
I hope he's not terrible.
Whoa.
Or he'll be sleeping. I think I said hi to Mr. Dragon, but if not, hi, Mr. Dragon. And of course, we have Pew Pirate hanging out with us as well. Runner Blaze is here. Runner is rebranding every month, it seems, right now. And that's fine. Rogue Disney is hanging out with us. I'm surprised. I'm not surprised. You know, I know he goes to the theme parks a lot, but it's very cold in Florida right now. It's very cold. Something we'll talk about tonight on the Welcome to Florida stream with on Lorena Creole's channel. So I'm sure we'll mention falling iguanas. So, and our friend, the weather girl, Katie, actually did a news report about raining iguanas. It was pretty funny. Sean Landrigan is here. Good to see you, my friend, as well as Low Spec Linux Laptop. We've got Pale Rider out there. What's up, my friend? Hail to the Canadian truck drivers. Absolutely. We've got Commander Ed Straker of Shadow and our good friend TZ Canadian. Good to see you, my friend. And yes, hail all in the fellowship. Blue-eyed Roof Korean, the Based is here. Boy, guys, everybody's here today. We got Cody Guy hanging out. We've got Rogstar is here. Jayne Theory, who's on the panel, of course. Terry Rose is here. Good to see you, Terry. Man, you guys are, go Canada. Go Canada. I didn't say
Canada.
Trinoculus P, absolutely. Ironcaster is here. Boy, I'm just saying hi to everybody for like 5 minutes. I'm sorry, guys. We got Mondo Bizarro. I feel like it's roll call. Anybody? And hey, the Guilt Man is here. Hey, guys, say hi to Thomas.
What's up?
Chalmers.
All right. Sander Hammerslag is here. Zach
Bueller.
is here. Yeah, that's how I feel.
Bueller.
The dad man walking is here after
I need to stop for a moment and say that his wife, Mrs. Dadman, Jade, she created one of the most epic moments in Fortnite last night, getting a quadruple kill by herself to win the match.
Yep.
That's amazing. It's
It was
amazing.
hilarious. It's amazing.
Yeah, you guys, I love watching you play. Someday I'll come and play with you guys. I told Dad Man that I would do that, but I struggle, and then you guys say you're carrying me, but you probably are. So it's not a lie, but I just feel like I'm letting down the team. Small Time Republic is here. Gosh, you guys, thanks for being here, all of you. We appreciate that. Macklin made it. Did you see the new icon? That's amazing.
She definitely made it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we are all caught up. So let's get jamming here and get into some subjects. You know what? Let's start with the attack of the boomers, shall we? And I think you guys probably know what I'm talking about. Of course, we have Joe Rogan in a Spotify spat with Neil Young and Joni Mitchell. So
this is the weirdest
just
thing I've ever heard of.
It is. It's very strange.
Yeah.
I mean, in the financial side of this, by the way, this is one of those times that Terry Rose would give you the brilliant financial advices to perhaps look at investing when things are all of a sudden lower than they should be.
I don't even get it. Is Neil Young even popular anymore? Like, isn't he super old and unrelatable? And like, why would you choose him over Joe Rogan?
Well, they didn't.
They didn't. But Neil Young thought they would.
Oh, thank God.
I thought he pulled himself, so Spotify kicked him.
No, Neil Young actually requested that his songs be removed. He doesn't have the power to remove his catalog because he doesn't own his catalog.
Exactly.
The catalog is owned by Warner. Right, Warner Records.
Yep.
So it's basically the label that asks Spotify to remove it on behalf of Neil Young, but they could have not done it. I mean, there's contracts that are signed around all of these types of things. But it's interesting that the way they frame it, and again, we always get around to the way media frames things, but they frame it in a way that says, Spotify loses $2 billion as stock plummets after Neil Young's Joe Rogan protests. So shares have plummeted around 12% since last week. How long? Well, without reading this, and because we really don't have to, but without reading it, I have to ask, and we'll start with our guests. Does this really matter to Spotify, and do you think this will have any long-term effect? And are you really going to go after? Are you really going to support the washed-up old boomer rocker versus the guy that's bringing hundreds of millions of people to your platform every month?
Wow, it's just easy to answer with a big no, isn't it? I mean, this is pathetic. This is Neil Young trying to feel relevant. Did you know he was still alive?
I'm
sorry, that's me.
But the question is, they went. Did they go? Did he obviously overstepped, right? He overstepped what he thought his value was. I mean, Jayne, I know that this is something you probably were focused on at some point, but did you think this was going to make any changes at all?
I actually didn't focus on it because I don't care about either of these people, but I do think that I don't think it's going to bother Spotify in the least. I don't even know why it made news necessarily. I don't know why anyone cares of his opinion on who Spotify allows on their platform. But I do appreciate the fact that Spotify did not sort of concede or give in to his protest. They shouldn't.
Yeah.
They're a platform. They allow people to promote their music or their podcast or whatever they're doing. And they should continue to do that. They should continue to be an open forum. If you don't want to be there, leave. Okay. We'll go on.
I don't understand this fascination of just, I don't know. Everybody's been pretty tactless about their demands. But in the past, whenever they come out and they make a protest, there's usually a few people who get behind them. But recently it just seems like there are popular people who think that they're really awesome, like Neil Young or Peter Dinklage. And they make some grand statement thinking that people are going to back them. Right. And I'm just so confused by it.
I have a slightly different take on what's going on here. I haven't seen. I don't know. Is there any footage of him actually verbally saying that?
Right. That's gonna be my next question. Did this just get leaked, or because he can make a personal decision he doesn't want his music on there. I don't see why anyone would be outraged one way or the other unless he's making a big deal of it.
Yeah, right. I'd like to see him do an actual statement, because I think maybe what we're suffering from here is kind of conspiracy or conspiracy. You have the powers that be that are finding folks that are pushing 80 here. They just love to find people that are pushing 80 and slightly demented and put things out per their names. Celebrity endorsements. That's supposed to be one of the things that carries the greatest credibility when you're marketing, whether it be an idea or propaganda or a product or a service. Right. And, what it really says, if you're going down the rabbit hole here of conspiracy or conspiracy, is that, this is the best they could do.
I just see, it's just like, I do agree 100%. He needs to come out and actually, speak up. And if it was actually him saying that, and if it was him saying that, he deserves the honorary title of Idiot of the Month.
Well,
why should he come out and say anything?
Well, exactly.
He's been known to before, though, in the past, long ago. He used to be very outspoken about things like that.
Yeah, and look,
that's usually just your normal liberalism.
Yeah, but Latino Slant's right. The old school Neil would have gone on Joe's show and they would have had a great talk. And you know what? He had some great tunes that I still remember. One of my favorite tunes of his is Harvest Moon. And I think a lot of people heard that song less than 2 decades ago. But let me pull from the article. And thank you, Tom, for joining us today.
My favorite song that I thought was him but wasn't him was Horse with No Name. So,
from America?
Yeah.
I would have more respect for him if he wanted to pull his music and he did it without pomp and circumstance. Like, you don't have to announce every time you're leaving something.
He's the guy who had to join Crosby, Stills, and Nash just to be fucking worth a shit.
Yeah, it's like that same thing where it's like,
fucker sounds like an old lady singing.
Well, yeah, it's like the same thing where it's like if you want to pull,
look at my line.
Well, yeah, it's like that. It's like those things where it's like, okay, you can. If you want to pull something away, you want to take it off the platform, it's okay, whatever. But you're making such a big stint about it. You're making such a big deal of it and open your mouth about it. That's why I think you're the Idiot of the Month.
Yeah. Like, if you decide you're going to unsub, okay. You don't have to tell me.
Announce it.
Right.
So I'm going to unsub J Theory. I'm going to announce it publicly that I unsub.
Didn't you hear about all the kids who canceled over this shit and then they resubscribe because they don't know how to use the fucking radio?
There you go. There you go. Well, real quick from the article, because we do need context, apparently. So Young had pulled his songs from the music platform on Wednesday because he said Spotify had become a very damaging force. Now, this is referring to or in spreading misinformation about current global crisis. He said Young referred to an open letter from medical professionals earlier this month. And when you look at that letter, again, our friend Tim Pool over at Timcast covered this in depth, saying if you looked at the list, there weren't exactly a lot of
medical professionals.
Yeah,
very fabricated.
Yeah. So anyways, they're talking about that and referring to misinformation. But this is a quote: "They can have Rogan or Young, not both," the music legend wrote in a now deleted letters. Gosh, I can't read today. That was provided to Rolling Stone. "I am doing this because Spotify is spreading fake information about the thing." Right, potentially causing death to those who believe the disinformation being spread by them. Young wrote, "Please
not sound that manly."
Yeah,
this is dumb.
So it's a letter. He didn't come out and speak publicly on camera. So that's what we're looking at here. Yeah. See that now the stinkometer really is going up even more.
Just goes off the rails now.
But well, wait a minute. So are you saying? I need to clarify. So he wrote a letter, and you're saying that doesn't carry as much weight as speaking on video or something?
Well, it normally does, but I'm saying that when you're a celebrity. You'd give a statement and say that you wrote the letter. I mean, this is why it gets brought into question, because you do have, when you become a celebrity, a lot of times when you sign on to certain things and, your contracts.
I've been called a grifter enough times. I know when a grift when I see one. This motherfucker thought he'd be smart. Like, look at all these people who now, like 10 days ago or 2 days ago, you ask any kid under the age of, I don't know, 50, if they've ever heard of Joni Mitchell or fucking Neil Young, and they'd be like, who?
Peter Frampton also.
You think he's grandstanding to get attention, get his name out there.
Now they've got a bunch of new fans, but at the expense of all their old fans. Where have we seen this game before?
Yeah, and that's a possibility too. It could be a publicity stunt as well. I mean, you just never know.
The question is why. I mean, he's rich, right? I mean, he's made his money. Like, why does he care where his music is at this point? Why does he care about any of this?
Because nobody else gives a shit about his music but him.
But he shouldn't care anymore either. Once you've made your bag, why are you still bothered?
And do his fans really?
I'll
I mean,
tell you,
that
Neil Young
generation,
is one of the most pompous fucking artists out there too. Sorry, go ahead, Wes.
Oh yeah, and people of that generation, I mean, really, these people are pushing 80. Do they even really know how to use Spotify?
Not really.
No, that's a good question. I mean, like if I were to reach out to my folks right now and say, "Are you connected to Spotify?" The only way it would have happened, is if myself or one of my siblings would have had them connected to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like because I I've had Spotify for a while, and I've had Pandora and a lot of these music streaming services, but I can't imagine without significant influence and help that there would be a huge segment of the population that was doing this. I don't know. You guys have a different experience?
Did you have Tidal?
Hey, my parents still listen to like NPR on the radio. They're not using Spotify.
He may not necessarily be connected to Spotify, but I can imagine that he's had a conversation about where his product is being sold, and he knows that it exists. Maybe not necessarily how it works, but it's there. Joe Rogan is there, and he doesn't like what he had to say or whatever.
Yeah, but are there 11 million people listening to Neil Young songs every day?
I don't think he necessarily. That's what I'm saying. Like it doesn't. I don't understand why he would care at this point. He's made all the money.
He's always been an activist.
Another thing is why I think Neil Young's Idiot of the Week, because he's not the only celebrity who has been so like hell-bent on taking down Joe Rogan. The other person I'm referring to is Ethan Klein of H3H3, who's been going after Joe Rogan vehemently on Twitter and getting blowbacks from it. It's just that Joe Rogan is such this big platform, and he has such this big influence with the JRE show being the biggest show on Spotify with over 11 million listeners.
Yeah,
each episode.
Do you think that that's maybe part of it? It's just like with YouTube,
I do think
where smaller YouTubers will sort of punch up and
It's
try to get
punching up.
attention.
Yeah,
exactly.
Which is nuts. Again, I mean, you can criticize people's decision-making process, but the punching around thing, it's
a waste of time, but
it's a waste of time.
Yeah.
The punching
I
around.
know Clobby wanted to say something, and Fat Steven, I'll get to you in a second, bro.
No, did I?
Oh, you started to say something a minute ago.
Oh no, I did already.
Oh, all right.
Oh no, that was me.
Okay.
Okay, well, Fat Steven, fire up, brother.
The problem is with the punching up or punching down is part of YouTube or any type of social media platform. That's why we have a whole drama community, a makeup community. Everyone has their punch ups, punch downs, because they start looking at their stats, they start looking at their numbers, and they start getting scared because they're not pulling in the same income they did last week, or they're not making the same type of groundbreaking strides that they're used to when they first started and they had their voice actually mean something. So yeah, you're going to go after Joe Rogan. Yeah, you're going to go after Quarter. You're going to go after this person. You're going to go after Kathy. You're going to go after everyone that you think doesn't deserve the success you're entitled to. And that's the way a lot of this stuff runs. The problem is Neil swung and the batter missed.
Yeah.
And now he's complaining. Then there was an article, I think the next day, that says Neil Young has been removed from Spotify and now is losing 60% of his revenue. And he's like, I call on other musicians and companies to do the same. I'm sorry, you're asking Big Corp to get rid of 60% of their income from streaming? What's wrong with you? They're not going to do that.
Yeah,
Klein's just digging himself a deeper and deeper hole. And we've already seen all the videos. We've seen how Rogan looks for his age compared to Ethan Klein in his diaper running through the wilderness.
Easy, bad man.
What?
You're not wrong.
Lofty Pixels did a great video. I'm going to give a shout out to that one.
Oh, absolutely. And you're not wrong, right? You're not wrong, right? I mean, there are people that have, they've done themselves a disservice, and I think Neil Young's one of them. But D. Bud Martin points out Young's pushing his Sirius radio deal. that's why he's doing this. And dude, that wouldn't surprise me, trying to get people to move to Spotify. Andy Masterson says, modern day, the anti-establishment artists, which Neil Young would be one. I mean, Tom and I know that because we're 1,000 years old. But from the 60s, they're now backing the establishment, Tom. I mean, I know.
Isn't that the irony is that all these hippie motherfuckers who were pro-speech, anti-establishment are the opposite now?
Yeah,
I have a question about this too, because y'all might know more so than I'm not familiar with him as far as who he is or whatever. But my question is, you said that he was an activist in the past. Was he somebody who had integrity such that this would be an actual stance based on his strongly held belief, or do you think it is purely propaganda based on what you know of him as a person?
It seems like it's propaganda to me, Jane. I don't know. Anybody else want to speak up on that one?
He's never been a real beloved hippy dippy motherfucker. I mean, even Leonard Skinner handed him his ass in Sweet Home Alabama, right?
That was like four decades ago, right?
I know, but like that's the thing is Neil Young has always been the fourth fucking guy in Crosby, Stills, and Nash, right? Like, no. Yeah, he was one of those hippy dippy motherfuckers who was always out there, you know, trying to change things, pretending to be like. I think he's just going with the flow. Same thing with Joni Mitchell. None of these people really realize what they're doing. They are so far away from the fucking pulse of what is really going on. It's not even funny. Because if most of these guys really knew what was going on, they'd be acting like Eric Clapton and all these other guys who actually have fans who want to see them live.
Yeah.
Right. Like that's the big thing we're seeing is the disconnect, right? Nobody is fucking selling out Joni Mitchell concerts. Like who the fuck cares about Joni Mitchell anymore? Peter fucking Frampton. Peter Frampton had one fucking album 40 fucking years ago.
Hey Tom, quickly, can I interest you in a Joni Mitchell's NFT by chance?
Oh God. No, but Shellback
I'd rather have one from Peter Cetera.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, to play off of what Tom just said, I hope Neil Young will remember Spotify don't need him around anyhow.
That's right. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So are the others?
Oh, go ahead.
Like someone mentioned Eric Clapton.
No, not Clapton. Frampton. Peter Frampton, Joni Mitchell.
So yeah, people that
Clapton is one of the people who's been out there being like pro or like anti-mandate.
Okay, yeah, but that's my question. Is it that he's so great because you agree with his position?
No. He's a very talented artist, has been for a very long time. Most people are very familiar with his music, but
Neil Young and Joni Mitchell, on the other hand, are basically they were already your grandma's music back in the day. Like they were AC easy listening crap nobody liked. Same thing with Frampton. Clapton, on the other hand, Meatloaf, a lot of these guys that have actually, stood for something here recently, big difference. And that's where I jumped on fucking Rolling Stones case for shitting on Eric Clapton. It's like, you motherfuckers wouldn't be shit without people like Clapton, and you're sitting here shitting on them. Fuck you. You should be ashamed of yourselves. And guys like Neil, like that was the whole joke that Shellback was saying, is Neil Young's been one of those guys who's done nothing but piss people off for the last 40 years anyway.
So that's his shtick?
Kind of like, I mean, like I said, the whole jab in Sweet Home Alabama is about him singing Southern Man, because the whole song's about how Southern people are racist. So he was an SJW before SJW.
That's right.
Well, guys, I have some absolutely terrible news that we're going to get to right now.
Justin Bieber bought a monkey NFT.
Justin Bieber's still alive. That's the worst news.
He bought a monkey NFT for $1.3 million.
No, I heard about this too just before the show culture. That's right. Howard Hesseman, aka Johnny Fever, has passed away.
Fever?
No.
What?
Booger.
Man,
that's bullshit.
This is very sad news. Hesseman was
he was great,
one of the best. I mean, and I mean, just think about how iconic he was, not just in that role, but in other things that he was in.
Head of the class.
Say again?
Head of the class.
Yeah.
Where he was a teacher.
Yeah.
But yeah,
so good.
Man,
what a bummer.
This sucks to hear.
Oh.
One day at a time, head of the class, WKRP in Cincinnati.
Yeah,
I don't know who that is. What the hell is that?
Definitely not him.
No,
Definitely not him. No,
it's a real shame. I was not prepared to hear this news today. Oh boy.
Wow.
So
I got some Clown World news. Did you see this tweet I sent you?
Was it Disney?
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. I love the warning they have on there about chipmunks.
What?
Okay.
A warning about chipmunks.
Scusi?
What the hell?
Chippendale Rescue Rangers is racist, kids.
Chippendale?
Oh my God.
They're also half nudists. Yeah, because they don't wear pants.
But they had
Chipmunks are
interspecies
fun.
relationships. That's pretty woke.
It is.
That's true.
That's a good goddamn point.
Hmm.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It was that's right. It was a clue, and he was in Dr. Detroit too. Yeah.
All right. I tell you what. I'm going to show that. Man, this is bananas.
Yeah,
We
he
have-
actually played Commandant Lassard's brother in Police Academy too.
Yeah.
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 Remember Dr. Detroit?
Great.
Yeah, he's great in Dr. Detroit. Yeah.
Man, it doesn't that just bum you out? Yeah, he was in Clue.
Yeah.
Well, he's a great character actor. I
he
mean,
was
just
incredible.
excellent. Great presence, great voice. Perfect for
Yeah.
Johnny Fever. I mean, it
Johnny was one of the best characters
Yeah.
ever.
Yeah, he was that radio DJ that you always thought was the the burnout metalhead. It was so good. Yeah. All right, well, here's something that Tom sent over because he wanted to bum me out. Yeah,
I think it's hilarious.
so
We're
there's a
finally
picture.
getting for the first time on
Oh, my
Blu-ray Chippendale's Rescue Rangers, all 65 episodes in high definition. Oh,
Okay. What?
Wow, it says content advisory. Stories matter.
Wait, what?
Huh.
I sent you a
Whoa.
picture of it where it's bigger. Actually,
Yeah,
too.
and I'm actually grabbing that one right now. This is the stuff that I can't believe anymore. That drives me crazy.
There's a warning label on the chipmunks?
There's
Yeah,
a
that's what I
warning
said.
letter
Yeah.
on Chippendale's
Very
Rescue Rangers.
Yeah, you're
kids.
about. Yeah, we'll get it up close here in just a second. I have to share a different screen. This drives me crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, wait.
Oh my
I'm
God.
gonna have Tom read it because he found this lovely piece of amazing.
I went to order this and I'm like, what the fuck is that? Content
is.
advisory? Stories matter?
Negative depictions of what the?
This
Negative
program
depictions
includes...
of mistreatment of people. What people?
Wait.
What?
Wait.
There are no people.
Or cultures. They're
Well,
not
actually, I think
animals.
there was people, but like anyway.
Wait.
Because
I
we
want
want
to-
to Rescue
No.
Rangers like
Harmful.
the same as the Rescuers, just with Chippendale. But anyway,
Yeah.
Oh,
rather
my
than
God.
remove this content, we want to acknowledge its harmful impact. Yeah, because I'm so traumatized.
Well, if it's harmful, why didn't you remove it?
How
But
can
then
you
they
make
said-
the chipmunks more inclusive? They're not real.
Harmful?
They're cartoons.
Wow.
They're not even humanoid.
But the best part is how they ended up here. We want to acknowledge its harmful impact and spark conversation to create a more inclusive
Right.
future.
Can they
But-
start that conversation by explaining in that tag what exactly is insensitive?
But please buy our harmful Blu-ray.
I don't like also that they're using the whole stories matter, trying to feed off of they're using the same,
really
you know what I
don't.
mean? They're using the same color format as the BLM type of thing, and they're like stories matter, like subliminal in the way I'm picking this up right now. But yeah, stories matter, but they don't always represent what you're trying to say they represent. You are making it worse for you. You didn't even need to put the warning on it.
Well, here's
Last time
my
I saw
issue.
chipmunks, they weren't riding a surfboard going, "Oh my God, we got to
Because,
burn
you
down
know,
Firestone."
Our first reaction is to laugh at its absurdity. Second
Yeah.
reaction is to just be like, well, at least they didn't cut the stuff out or, leave out those episodes. But then there's the next step after this, right? The next step is it's got a warning label. So if you have this thing with a warning label, then you're a bad person. So we better make this thing with a warning label illegal. So then if you're one of these people with something like this with a warning label on it, then you have contraband. And then it just escalates from there. See where I'm going with this?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I'm also
And
more
then it's a
concerned with the
DVD burning
mentality,
party.
the mentality that would think to put this on there in the first place, and it actually gets through how many channels to get on there, is pretty disturbing. That this people like that are even capable of human speech, much less doing. I mean, they're absolute idiots.
Hold on, I gotta go to that website now. Disney.
Stories matter.
Well, that's the problem, I think.
But this is
Yeah.
okay. What bothers me is the
Oh
hypocrisy,
my
because
God.
at the same time they're doing this, this is the same company that
Oh my God.
reduced Finn on the international
Yes,
promotion
it
of the
is.
trilogy.
Here you go. Look, you're gonna love what's on the front. The first thing when you open it, though,
What?
Culture, you'll love that. When I went to Stories Matter, this is
Um,
it says content advisory. Oh my god, bad website setup. Oh my god.
Well, as far as to how that label got there, it's easy. It's all the trigger words. Like nowadays, all you have to do is walk up to your boss, right, and say, "Hey, this is racist," and they're like, "Oh, okay, put a sticker on there." Because it's like, what if they tried to fight you on that? I mean, that looks horrible.
Right. But there's still someone actually walking up to the boss and saying that person concerns me, that person's operating heavy machinery like cars and things.
Well, right. But that's the person who looks at orcs and thinks that they're black people. Like, they're the problem to begin with.
Right.
Hey!
They are.
I wonder how many driver's manuals they went through before they found one that didn't feel like it had a influential, harmful impact in trying to teach you how to drive a forklift.
Well, okay, I'm not going to pretend I've watched Chippendale's Rescue Rangers in the last 30 years. Okay, I did watch it when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
But I am stretching beyond belief to try and think of anything that could have been controversial in that show. Maybe,
that's what I want to know.
Just maybe there was like a depiction of some like indigenous tribe or something like that, maybe in some episode. But other than that, the only thing I can think of is, didn't the one chick have like a crush on one of them or something like that? Is that what it could be? Is that there's a great relationship in this show and that's the problem?
But it's
there was a couple
crushes. Monterey Jack. Maybe Monterey Jack is the problem.
I was going to say, is Monterey Jack the problem?
Oh, yeah. Stereotypical whoever he's supposed to represent.
Yeah,
what was he supposed to represent?
Parmesan cheese,
idea.
and he went crazy. Remember cheese, and his
Didn't he have an
mustache
Australian
winged out. Yeah,
accent, though?
I don't know, but his mustache dinged out whenever cheese came by, and he became a cheese addict, which is playing off the trope of a mouse, nothing else. Like, I don't see how that's bad. That's like saying, like, what, are you going to go after Baloo and Tailspin next, or Darkwing Duck because he
gosh, you brought
hides in the shadows and is considered a criminal?
Exactly what I was thinking. Fats Tailspin. I was like, oh fuck.
But I don't understand why they assume that their audience doesn't know that some things are just weird and were stupid when they were done, and still can enjoy the thing. Like, Gone with the Wind is one of my favorite films ever made. I know there are racist stereotypes in the movie.
Right.
You don't have to tell me, but I also enjoy the movie, and I can do that.
But you're also smart enough to know that's the way certain things were at that time, right? Like,
called being educated, right?
I'm not one of those people who accepts that that's the way things.
I'm not saying accepting it, but you know that it was a different time. Is my point? You know the warning label to fucking tell you that.
The warning label is
put a label on things. Just let me enjoy it and let me discern it how I wish to.
Yeah.
The label is something that parents want. They don't want to teach their kids what's right and wrong anymore. So it's just like, it's a lot easier if they censor shows and take away all that horrible stuff that they'd have to actually talk to their kids about. I think that's a big part of it too. It's like, oh, we don't want to talk about race. We'll just say it's bad and we'll put a little asterisk next to it. And hey, we're good.
Yeah, the only thing, Clobby, you wanted to say something, man. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, I'm with everyone else on that. I think it's ridiculous. I'm always fascinated by the unbelievably idiotic mindset that comes up with this kind of reasoning, who sat there and watched this thing and go, hey, we better put a label on it. Lost for words, really. Go ahead.
Even on this website, they've got, here, I'm going to bring this up.
Battle of the Bulge.
They've got actual examples of content receiving advisories.
Oh my God.
We've got the Aristocats.
What?
Of course.
Because it's depiction of racist caricature of East Asian peoples.
Yep. It was the.
How are they going to remake Aristocats? Wait a minute. This brings up a story because I don't know. Wait,
they're doing a live action version of Aristocats, and that's going to tank hard.
They're also redoing a Chip and Dale series.
Yeah, but it's not really live action. I mean, it's CGI.
Real cats.
Yeah.
I really don't like it when they say that.
They're going to use real cats.
They may just take them out entirely because, I mean, that's one of the things that they are considering with the dwarves, right? to just remove them or make them something else?
Speaking of which, thank you for the segue, Jayne.
Well, there's more here on this list, but yeah, like anyway,
I mean, but this fits hand in hand with that, Tom. It fits hand in hand with that because I mean, Peter Dinklage went out there and got a bunch of jobs canceled with this.
Don't worry, they'll be replaced by elves. Angry Sarah Spriteman.
You guys are wrong. He was just trying out for the part of Grumpy, and it came off wrong.
Well, he definitely was grumpy, but let's just real quick
get through snitch.
Let's get through the headline and the subheadline real quick. It says Disney responds to Peter Dink's show Snow White live action criticisms to avoid reinforcing stereotypes from the original animated film. We are taking a different approach with these 7 characters and have been consulting with members of the dwarfism community, says Disney. So basically they responded in that way.
AKA Dinklage, and that's it.
Yeah. Basically, yeah. After noting the casting of West Side Story breakout Rachel Zegler, Dinklage told Maron, whatever that knucklehead's name is, literally no offense to anyone, but I was a little taken aback when they were very proud to cast a Latina actress as Snow White. At least he didn't add an X to that, thank goodness. But you were still telling the story of Snow White and the 7 Dwarfs. Take a step back and look at what you're doing here. It makes no sense. Well, then don't tell the story, Peter. I mean, you don't have to be involved. Anyway, you're progressive in one way, which they're not. That's 1,000% of purchase. But then you're still making that effing backwards story about 7 dwarves living in a cave together, which
time out.
He's the cottage. The thing.
Time out. They had the whole mines of Moria. What are you talking about?
Yeah, they worked in a mine. They lived in a house where they had a white bitch for slave labor. Big difference.
Yeah. It's a cottage.
And aren't dwarfs in general, like if we're looking at mythical creatures and beings in general from a mythos in general, so what, you're attacking the fact that you're not getting a reality representation of dwarfs and you're relating it to little people. But rather than think about all little people in general, because you're also slightly offended because you have no more Game of Thrones paychecks coming in, you just, oh my God, I'm bad. You just attack and cost every little person wanting that job.
Yeah. He got a lot of backlash from within that community who was like,
I hear the Keeper Elves are pissed.
He
cost people, definitely is pissed.
He cost people
the
jobs.
Leprechauns are outraged.
Yeah, but he cost people jobs. That's not baloney, right? And just to go back to the previous subject, warning: Chippendale Rescue Rangers has a smart female character that is a mechanic. Yeah. No shit. It's one of those times when you get me to curse because it gets me mad because I'm like, there's a lot of amazing in those comics or cartoons.
Culture, hold on a second.
Yeah.
They put a warning label because Gadget is a smart female who's a mechanic.
That's a joke.
Because she's not lesbian enough.
No, there's also an episode in there for looking at Monterey Jack where they are going after his weight, making him feel secure. So we got fat shaming in there too. It's actually one of the banned episodes with them too. So there is an actual list where you can find all this stuff.
I think I can think of it. It's a really blurry episode, but they encounter some native mice or something. And they try to sacrifice them over like a boiling pot of something or other. Maybe that's what they got offended with because they had like the feather stuff on their heads, and I don't know. But that's the only thing I could possibly think of.
No, look real quick. I'm gonna grab this super chat because it's relevant to the Spotify thing. Blue-eyed Roof Curry in the base for $5 says some folks are born silver spoon in hand. These are lyrics, guys. Yes. Lord, don't they help themselves? But when the tax man comes to the door, the house looks like a rummage sale. Well, there you go.
Exactly.
Nice.
Yeah. Well done. But it's weird. I mean, Dinklage he's not looking at it properly, right? As Marby Dog,
look, he wants acknowledgement that yes, in classic literature and up to this point in history, for the most part, when it comes to that kind of stuff, dwarves are usually seen as some kind of magical creature or whatever, right? Clearly, they're not seen in the light like they should be as actual people. But take that aside. Look at how they're presented in Snow White and the 7 Dwarfs. There's nothing magical about them. They're just regular Joes who go to work every day. They come home, they eat, they sleep, they get up, they go back to work.
Regular blue collar workers.
Exactly. That's
They
kind of what
whistle
they're
while
representing. And see, that's the thing is he doesn't understand what this story represents overall. Like Snow White comes from the, you know, the privilege of the privileged, right? And God, do I really have to break down what this?
No, you don't, because let's take it out of the box of Snow White and let's look at Willow, for God's sakes.
Yeah.
Not only did we have a village of little people, we also had one that became a wizard and actually helped save a whole kingdom.
Well, what's
Wasn't that
funny
good enough representation?
is they introduced it to the new cast of Willow. Not one single new cast member was a little person. Nobody said shit
seriously?
about that.
But I don't understand why they are trying to humanize these creatures. Just because you are called dwarves doesn't mean that you are actually dwarfs. They're not the same thing. These aren't human creatures. It doesn't make any sense to me. If you don't like the role, then don't take the role for yourself.
Right.
But you can't tell other people that those shouldn't be roles that exist that they can take.
Right.
Do you think he went after Peter Jackson when the Shire was being represented in those films, and then he just got ignored because someone just took away his footstool?
But but see, yeah, but again, I mean, you hobbits are little people, so you have to portray them as little people. I mean, this is the problem with all
he
this.
played a giant named dwarf.
I know, I'm familiar with that. real quickly, let's get this Rob Altus super chat here for $5. That's fine. With this mentality in Hollywood, there can be no imagination. Well, there hasn't been for some time, has been my argument, which is why they keep remaking stuff that is vastly superior. All this goes farther than just KK. This will continue for years, at least 3 to 4 more. Yeah. I mean, there's no argument there. In fact, I have a video coming out next week that talks exactly about that point anyway. But it looks like we're getting Shellback dropping in and out based on internet, but I'm glad he's here. It's been good. Okay, anybody else want to take swings at this story before we wrap?
Has anyone concernedly talked to the Keebler Elves and how they feel about this?
No.
It's just,
I would give him some credence if he had tackled it from a different direction. Like, if he was actually smart about it, like, I think a good point to bring up would be, like, we should just have more roles that are, that little people can use, right? Or, like, like, hey, a main character gets cast, and they happen to be a dwarf or whatever. Awesome, Like, that would be a fine way to argue. But to say that any role that's actually written for a small person shouldn't be written that way sounds really stupid.
I agree. I feel the exact same way. Like, I talk a lot about how sort of dark-skinned Black women have been cast, generally speaking. And it's never my position that those roles shouldn't exist, that you shouldn't be able to have women who are villains or drug addicts or masculine or whatever. That's fine. But you should have a wide range. So my argument would be for more creativity in Hollywood in terms of writing and production and the stories they tell. Not you can't have these stories. So it doesn't make any sense for him to criticize the simple existence of this film, of these characters, of the fact that they're being cast with little people. It makes a whole lot more sense to do what you said and say we should have more jobs, more opportunities. Why aren't y'all writing more stories? Why aren't you adapting other novels and books and fantasies and things that maybe portray a different take on these particular types of people or beings or whatever? People want more, not less. But he's coming from that position of let's take things away from people instead of let's add to entertainment,
and thinking that you speak for the entire community.
Exactly.
Because that's literally like the Lucky Charms leprechaun, like literally throwing a fit to news media because the leprechaun films did not portray him correctly. It's the same type of story. It's pretty much you're speaking on behalf of a community, but a community is not just one voice.
Exactly.
It is
so he didn't represent a demonic leprechaun very well.
No, I don't think so. After Leprechaun in Space, I think he kind of gave up on his marshmallow journey.
Well, I think he kind of gave up on Leprechaun in the Hood, but hey.
Leprechaun in the Hood was after Space, and I thought that was one of the better sequels.
Yeah, it was. It was
Back to the Hood that he just phoned it in.
Yeah. But that's the whole thing what we're dealing with when it comes to even Hollywood or anyone else. You think these people are screaming for diversity, they're screaming for representation, but they're screaming for their own entitled self-worth because they think they have the right to speak for everyone. It's the same when you're getting people who are standing up for against racism and have all these words on a billboard, like the way Canada's going right now. They're putting all these words out there. You're trying to speak on behalf of a whole person or group of people, but you haven't listened to a single person who's telling you they don't like it. Only the people that agree with you.
Culture, breaking news.
That's not change.
DJWs.
Dwarf Justice.
I love it.
Oh my god.
Culture, I found an audio clip on this.
Oh,
I found an audio clip on this. Let me play it real quick.
Yeah.
Dinklage says that represents the dwarf community, the dwarf community, the dwarf community.
I'm getting canceled.
God.
I'm so dead.
I would love a dwarf remake of the
Getting canceled.
Well,
Thank you,
in
The
all
walking
seriousness,
dwarfs.
though, but this whole woke culture bullshit, again, this is just another story where if they actually understood the story, a lot of the morals and the things that are told within it, just like a lot of other fairy tales, go right along with their kind of idealism, but they don't even see it. They're so blind to it, right? Like, because as I was saying before, a lot of these stories are built in the idea of not trusting or putting too much trust in a higher power or, in this case, let's say government or whatever. And then at the end, it's usually either the blue collar workers or somebody from the other side of the tracks or, lower class that is usually the hero, right? Like these stories are set up that way for a reason. Like there's always kind of been this separation between the quote unquote us and them mentality of this. But then you got idiots like Dinklage who are just feeding right into the same shit that guys like Neil Young are feeding into and all this other bullshit. It's like, do you guys not see what you're doing here? You're just feeding the snake.
I thought of an upside, right? So sure, they took 7 jobs away from dwarves, right? But just think there might be 1 or 2 CGI artists that they hire to make those weird fantasy creatures that are dwarves, right?
Not likely. They're going to be 12-year-olds in China.
Wow. All I know is I'm with Southern Belle at this point, which is dwarf lives matter.
Well, no, but it's true though. And knowing a few little people, it is not the easiest to find employment. A lot of times, you can get disability, but that doesn't give you a living wage. And a lot of times the type of jobs that you're able to get, especially ones that, make a good living, are in the entertainment industry.
Yeah.
Or 2 days out of the year, which is St. Patrick's Day and Christmas.
But he's in a position to actually make a difference in that regard. Like, I mean, he could support stories being written. He could support get his friends together who put movies together and say, hey, what about this type of character? We could add that one. Like, there are things you can do when you're actually a part of the system to make it better, besides getting on a podcast and complaining about it.
No, and I'm with all the guys that are calling him out because it's true. You are the most successful little person actor in history, or probably the most successful little person period as far as money wise goes. And you're basically shitting all over everybody and shutting this door now that, as I just said, for a group of people who don't have a lot of options, this is one option that is dignified, makes them a lot of money, or at least a livable wage. And when you make movies like this, it's a big deal to them. They wait for that's how come you've had so many people speak out against them. It's like, hey, you're not speaking for us, buddy.
And he's also not giving them an alternative. Okay, so we're not supposed to be one of the 7 dwarves. What are we supposed to do then? Are you offering a job? No,
that's just it. And he makes more money than any of these guys, and he's the last person who should be talking about it because he made all his money off of the entertainment industry.
Oh wow! Monkey Jeebus sent me a clip. This is interesting. Okay, look, this is one of those weird times where I'm like trying to feel like maybe he didn't mean what he said the way we were taking it, but it really
he's coming off like an elite asshole.
He comes off like an elite asshole, and he comes off like full of bologna sausage. He is full of it.
What if Disney changed it to Snow White and the 7 jockeys?
And,
they all just rode
and
horses.
from what I've Conference TV was talking about this earlier, and from what they were hearing is that it was probably Disney's intentional to change Snow White with how they were going to race swap Snow White beforehand. So this was just, I guess this was a PR thing. I don't know what it was, but it sounded like Disney was going to do this intentionally in the first place, with or without Peter Dinklage's, asinine comments.
Statements. Yeah.
Well, yeah, he did. He criticized the casting of a Latina too, but I mean, it's just not criticized, but the way he spoke of it was very
It was a
bizarre.
passive-aggressive kind of.
Yeah, exactly. Like he was
Very
resentful of it or
passive-aggressive.
something.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm going to get claimed for this, so we'll try to break it up with some commentary.
No, but
apparently,
I think you guys are right. I don't think they were ever going to use little people to begin with. They were probably going to CGI the exact same 7 dwarfs from the original movie, just in 3D animation.
Right. They were going to probably pull what they did with, what was it? Was it The Hobbit or was it?
Well, all the Aladdin and Lion King, all that stuff.
the other live.
We were going to
action,
get sleepy,
Snow
happy,
White.
Dopey, grumpy, all that shit just in 3D CG animation, I bet.
Yeah, they were going to do the same thing like
And
they did
a little
with the,
diverse.
with
Yeah,
the Snow White film.
I'm sure it sure will be incredibly diverse because that speaks perfectly to a German fairy tale at the time. But let's real quickly go through this clip. However,
I haven't seen this movie in so long, but it's a good movie.
Yeah, I'm going to increase the scale of this. It's not exactly the best rendering, but
Well, they did cast an Israeli as the evil stepmother.
Perfect. That's what we needed.
Yeah.
Yeah, here we go. This is a clip from Living in Oblivion. Oh, well, apparently I did not get the sound up.
Share the sound, yeah.
Which the audio's not on Culture on the video, I don't think.
Boomer.
I muted it. It's muted. Yeah.
It's muted. Yeah.
There you go.
All right, let's give it a go.
Does it have to be a dwarf? What? Why does my character have to be a dwarf? It doesn't have to be a dwarf. Then why is he?
Okay, so it's an interesting way to go about this commentary, but this is back in 1995. So, I mean, I don't know. Let's keep going.
Is that the only way you can make this dream? Put a dwarf in it? Have you ever had a dream with a dwarf?
Why? What?
I'm getting a bit of an echo.
Yeah.
Culture, I think you got to mute.
Why is he dressed like one of the actors from Dumb and Dumber?
Dumb and Dumber, yeah.
Do you know anyone who's had a dream with a dwarf in it? No!
What the hell
I don't
happened?
even have dreams with dwarves in them. The only place I've seen dwarves in dreams is in stupid movies like this. Oh, make it weird. Put a dwarf in it. Everyone will go, whoa, whoa, whoa. There must be a fucking dream. There's a fucking dwarf in it. Well,
But he's not wrong. I mean, come on. I mean, and then who did Twin Peaks? Because he put the
Lynch.
Lynch. Yeah, David Lynch.
Yeah, he put that dwarf in that weird dream sequence, right?
Yeah.
Every time
The backward talking.
Right.
Oh yeah, the Black
yeah.
Lodge.
Your favorite gum will come back in style.
The other thing too, though, dwarves don't have any type of negative connotation. So even if this is if it is what he says it is, which I don't see it, but there's nothing negative about those creatures,
right,
to be associated with them. Like, it's not like some of the other things we've seen with other ethnic groups or whatever, where things have been used to caricature them. That has never happened with dwarves.
And that's kind of what I was getting
offended.
at, Jane, is this is like a very positive, portrayal, right? Like there's nothing about them that is negative. So I was like, I'm still stretching to see what his issue is exactly.
His issue is he's probably not relevant and no one talks about him. So now he's
Or
making
he's
a
not
huge
getting
mess.
an offer to be in the movie, or they didn't offer him.
Yeah,
an
he
offer.
wanted to be the
Right.
King Dwarf White. That's what he wanted to be, King Dwarf White.
He did sound drunk during the podcast. Have y'all listened to it?
Yeah, he gets drunk a lot.
He sounds sloshed.
He does.
See, that's what bothers me. You got a man who or half a man, and people are going to make that joke too, whatever. But you have a man here who has had a lot of success through films and Game of Thrones and other things. If you're so wanting to have a good representation or a good image of little people, dwarfs, whatever, then why don't you start your own god dang studio and start making those things that you find counterproductive to what you want to get across as a message, and start making those films in an indie market. You have enough money, you'll probably get enough backers.
Do you think he would pull a Gwyneth Paltrow though? She
I don't
did
want a
that,
dwarf
didn't
candle. I really don't want a dwarf candle that explodes.
No, but I'm just like, she did the same thing. I think it was her. I might be confusing her with another actress, where she basically started her own like producing company or something to make movies. But like everybody, all the directors were guys.
Oh, you're thinking of
Natalie Portman?
Her dress.
Oh, Natalie Portman, was that it?
Right.
Yeah, it was her dress, all with the gold writing of everything, but none of them were women or something. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's it. Like, then make your own studio. It's like you have enough money to make a small studio, even if it's just you're hiring dwarf animators or little people.
But you're right, Steven. You're right. But at the same time, Ron Martin makes a big point here, a good one. The Seven Dwarfs have always been heroes in the film. Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, and I think Jayne said just a couple minutes ago, there's no negative connotations here. None.
Yeah, and like y'all were saying too about creating jobs. I mean, you saw the same thing with. I mean, people say what you will about Oprah, but she created Harpo Productions and has supported the creation of tons of quality films and television series to give jobs to actors and actresses who might not necessarily get cast in major mainstream productions. You see the same thing with Monkey Paw and Tyler Perry Studios and others. If you're not getting the jobs, you can either complain. If you don't like the jobs, you don't like the castings or characters that are coming out, or you can actually do it yourself. Be the change you want to see.
And Daryl makes a good point, because Ankle Biters is an actual film based off midget vampires. I'm not joking. So yeah, there are things out there. Like, there are so many things he has a chance to do. You could have, like, honestly, after this mess up and the fact that people lost jobs, Dinklage is not even like coming on and saying, look, I didn't mean for people to lose their jobs. I just wanted to express he's done none of this. He's done nothing to rebuild what he's done, right? He's pretty much just laid in the Hot Wheels and just let everyone else deal with the mess he's caused.
What do we want? DLM Studios. When do we want it? Now.
Okay, how about Snow White and the 7 SJ Warriors? Right?
Why don't you just call it Snow White and the 7 Angry Dinklages?
Maybe I don't know, but I know this. We've been grinding on the Dinklage thing for a while. And does anybody have some final words before we move to the next subject? Because I want to get our experts talking about this next thing. So
I would be surprised if they hire him as a consultant.
Maybe.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was going to say he's still only the second greatest dwarf actor who ever lived. We all know Michael Dunn's better.
Warwick Davis is the bestest.
Oh, Michael Dunn's the best, though. Come on.
I think we need to start talking to Mighty Max and Polly Pocket on how they feel about the situation.
Yeah, I don't know. I think we should be asking around the entire community, right, as it exists. But for
sorry,
no, please.
Nah, Dinklage's his ego is bigger than he is.
Maybe so.
That's what I'm saying.
Maybe so, but that can be said for a lot of actors in Hollywood, you know. And
I don't like to punch. Well, I don't want to punch down, but
right.
Well,
I don't like looking down on him either. But whatever.
I want to point out that a lot of like the British actors also kind of go to like very like high standard, like, you know, acting classes and stuff. I'm not saying like, you know, that makes them better, but I mean like it kind of puts them on the outside already, as like they're disconnected with a lot of people who, you know, just start acting right out of high school or whatever, and they go to, you know, Hollywood to start their dream. And so like he probably does think he deserves like the fanciest stuff for everything, but to think that like everybody else needs that is stupid.
Maybe, but his first breakout was The Station Agent, right? How many of you have actually seen that film?
No.
The what?
Dinklage?
Yeah,
I don't know that one.
Yeah. The Station Agent. So yeah, if you like you said, that's where he got his notoriety. But let me get through these super chats, and then we're gonna move on to this next story. And thank you guys for handling that well without too many stature jokes. I appreciated that very much.
No, we try to rise above the counter.
I feel that was
Sorry. At least not
I was feeling a little short on jokes.
Yeah, well, we were all coming at it from an elevated position, and I think
Look, as much as I want to talk on behalf of the Lollipop Guild, I really can't here.
All right. Well, speaking of that, Commander Ed Straker of Shadow for $5 says, "Hey, why doesn't Neil Young Rust Never Sleep have a warning label and canceled over classy hit Welfare Mothers? Inquiring minds want to know." That's true. And then, of course, Roof Korean, the base, Blue-Eyed Roof Korean, the base comes at us with this one for $5. Seeing more and more elite and media arranging deck chairs on the Titanic, prostrating to carry the narrative falling apart. Never give, never forgive, never forget. Well, there you go.
Spot on. Absolutely. That's a spot on comment.
It's
right
happening. There. It's happening a lot too. AFK's back. There we go. All right.
Real quick before we culture, real quick before we transition. Okay. This might be a hot take.
I'm not doing that.
This might be a hot take, but the actress who played Thumbelina on the original Total Recall, best dwarf actor ever.
That's a half take.
She was pretty good. I mean, I really liked that film way back in the day. But right, speaking of
God, I actually have a story about that. You're talking about the little girl that had the machine gun, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
God, I was driving, for work on an appointment, and I saw somebody that looked just like her, like a working girl. And I was like, that looks like the girl from Total Recall. That's weird. People must have a weird fetish about that. And I didn't think it was actually her. And then her obituary came up, and apparently she was living in that area. I was like, that's sad.
It was her clone. It was a clone.
Yeah, Warwick Davis is probably the best. You're probably right there, Lovely Sherry, I think.
Do you remember Michael Dunn, though?
Wicked and Willow. That's all I say.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's
don't overlook Billy Barty.
Hey, let's do this real quick. All right.
Meanwhile, at the Legion of Doom.
That's my theme song.
That's right.
That's my theme song. What are you talking about, my John?
Here we go. Well, let's talk about a non-controversy controversy. I didn't even know this existed. I did not even see this coming.
I didn't
So apparently people are upset over the eyeliner, or somebody thinks people are upset about the eyeliner, but let's read this real fast. Oh, go ahead, Mike.
No, I'm just saying I hadn't heard this either. This is what the hell.
I question it. I want proof people are mad about this.
Yeah,
me too. But let's get to the story. We'll see what happens. This is from Digital Spy. It says the Batman director defends Robert Pattinson's Bruce Wayne eyeliner. You can't wear a cowl and not
wear an eyeliner.
All right.
Yes, he is.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
Okay. Well, it is. It's makeup. Let's get the story super fast. Ever since the first trailer of the Batman was released online, the internet has been obsessing over Robert Pattinson's look in the DC movie. With his dark hair, super long fringe, and eyeliner, many have teasingly described the newest Bruce Wayne's aesthetic as emo. I have
you wear black lipstick one fucking time.
But he is
emo
anyway.
Yeah.
Emo though. Remember, he was a sparkly vampire, okay?
But I mean, I'm not even talking about the actor. I mean, this kid watched his family murdered in front of him. What do you expect him to be?
Yeah,
a topic and play.
Proactive, lady. That's what you are. You get out there and do fuck shit up.
Bruce Wayne and Batman to be an angry badass.
So anyway, Matt Reeves comes out. Yeah, Matt Reeves goes out there and says, essentially, you can't wear a cowl and not wear that. All of the Batmen wear that. The filmmaker explained to Esquire recently, I just love the idea of taking off the mask, and under that, there's the sweating and dripping and the whole theatricality of becoming
Allow
the
me to
character.
nerd out for a moment. Actually, Adam West did not wear any of your fucking eye makeup, so suck it.
So, I mean, did this really upset anybody? I don't believe this story for 2 seconds, right?
So, I was probably would be in that kind of that vein of I probably was bothered by that at first until I forgot who explained it to me with the eyeliner, and I was like, okay, that makes sense now. Yeah, so I don't understand what's the outrage over that.
And we fortunately have a comic expert, one of the foremost minds here in our fellowship. Do you care about this? Is this something you heard of? I don't even know.
No, I mean, look, I understand. I hate to agree with Matt Reeves because, but yeah, you kind of have to have that for the mask to work. And then remember that how you just have to film it in a certain way. Remember in Batman Returns how silly it looked when he's taking the mask off, which he shouldn't be anyway, in front of Catwoman, and it's fine. You know the liner's there, and then the next shot is clearly there's none there. Mm-hmm. And it's blatant. It's blatant because you can see it in all the other shots before that. So, but you do have to have it. Right. I mean, I can see where you would have to have it, or unless you can, use some other means. So, I think what they're complaining about is the fact that he takes the mask off and it's there afterwards.
Right.
In other words, you're not supposed to know. It's supposed to be part of the illusion is Batman doesn't wear that, and when he takes it off, you don't see it. As in that scene we're just speaking of. And
why would that be part of the illusion? Like, why would you even think about it?
Because you can see it. I guess that's what they're saying.
Well, as far as it goes, sorry.
I think E. Clay Thomas in there in the chat is spot on with it. It's free publicity marketing. It's look at this, free publicity, and that's what it is. But
Batman's
you got to look out for this pussy.
Yeah. I mean,
that's what it's about.
Whatever. I mean, I'm not interested in this movie anyway.
Drama baiting.
Yeah, drama bait. So bad anyway. Yeah. I'm saying that in comics and things like that, it's never brought up. It's never so in a movie. That mask. Those eyes, when he goes to take off his mask in Batman Returns, right before that shot, you can see that the eyes are dark around inside the mask, right? And then it cuts to a scene right before he takes it off where you can tell that's been removed. And then he takes it off and there's no eyeliner there. People are saying that you're not supposed to know that. That's a movie trick.
To me, that's disjointing and it actually takes me out of it. Like I would
really, yeah.
Can I ask the context though? I mean, like in the trailer, because again, I haven't seen it. Is he taking the mask off, or do we just see it with his the stuff around his eyes without it?
I think it's just off.
Because I can imagine that's the thing is to me, I like realism to stuff like this. So maybe I could look at it as a insecurity where they noticed that people were complaining about it online, but they were thinking, well, you don't see it in context because if you're in the scene and it's really gritty and he just had a tough fight or something and he's ripping his mask off, it would make sense that he has it around his eyes, but when you just see it in a picture or something, it looks weird,
One thing I've learned in over 55 years of geeking is that there's not one thing that some fans won't complain about.
Well, just be happy that what actor is it? Tom Hanks isn't in it, because then you would have to see him pee at least once in the movie. So
yeah. So, but there's so much more to complain about with these horrible trailers of this god awful looking movie that means nothing to me. That
means nothing. Yeah, it's very minuscule.
I'm in the minority. I can't wait to see it. I love him as an actor. I can't wait.
I just want to see him drink from him.
I think I could see him playing a Dick Grayson, an older Nightwing Dick Grayson. I cannot see him as Bruce Wayne. I look at him and go, ugh.
I would disagree, Clobby. I would disagree, Clobby, on that one. Not as a Nightwing Dick Grayson, but more as a Terry McGinnis.
No, he looks more like I'm with you. Definitely. I'm with you, but I could see Dick Grayson as well. I just don't see him as Bruce Wayne. But I agree with you, though. Terry McGinnis, fine.
The camera angles for him, especially in the trailers, it makes him look so emaciated. It's like he's an unhealthy Batman. Yet we're supposed to believe that he's fighting crime, even though they're supposedly pulling the same Taskmaster thing. Is that they're going to CG cut off the stuntman's head and put his head on the stuntman's body for those action scenes.
But why would they even feel it necessary to do that if this is supposed to be a younger version of Batman? He's not going to be bulked up.
Well, no. Well, I mean, that's another thing. Getting tired of the younger version.
Only 2 years younger than I am.
Who?
No, in this movie,
the actor
supposed to be a
kid. Wow, you're young, huh?
Yeah,
I feel like an oddball because I've been wanting Batman Beyond type stuff, and I'm an oddball because I know a lot of people don't like it, but I liked the angry, grizzled Bruce Wayne type idea that he's way down later in life. I wish they'd stop going back to baby Bruce.
Right, but here's
I agree.
we've talked about that, and Wes, I'll let you do that real quick because that's a conversation we've had several times. But look, Cavatano Chase says no one teases NFL or MLB players for the eye black that they wear underneath their eyes, and that's true. I mean, that's that's to reduce glare, and I imagine it works very well in this as well. And we haven't seen the context of it other than like the short clip that we get of that and the still photos that we just showed. So I mean, if they're just trying to make it a more realistic and gritty, it's just there has been several Batmen that have not worn the eye black, right? Whatever you want to call it. So that
we know of anyway.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. But anyway, go ahead, Wes. I didn't mean to cut you off, brother.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was just saying that he would be the perfect Batman Beyond, the Terry McGinnis, and that makes a lot more sense for him as Bruce Wayne. I just don't see it. I don't see it. I'm sorry.
Yeah. He's, I don't know. But
and that's fine. I just think the important thing is that they give us a good story that's entertaining and that looks good as well. I don't mind the different takes because I know people are still mad about Spider Boy.
Well, yeah.
Even though I love that take on it.
Yeah.
Also, I would like to see, I would like to see a fully formed Batman. I do think the origin story has been done to death, and we need to see, him with some, some baggage behind him. Yeah, seasoned pro,
a veteran.
Maybe we're getting to the point where he and Robin are getting ready to split, and Robin becomes Nightwing, and that would be an interesting story to me, where things are falling apart and they're having different takes.
Yeah, going to blood.
You'll have a Batgirl and you'll like it.
Yeah.
Everyone would like to see
don't
that.
get started
Everyone
on
knows
that one.
Go ahead,
this
Mike.
origin stuff. Good.
Go ahead.
I get tired of origins, especially in films anyway. After a while, I understand you need it with certain characters just starting out, like as in 2008 with Tony Stark, or later down some of the the MCU movies when they were still MCU. You needed some of those origin stories, but you sure as hell don't need one with Batman again.
No.
I'm here for it.
I'm going to just say it this way, and this is just my opinion. It's an aesthetic, and I don't care. And there have been people in the chat saying, and Ron Martin here saying specifically, I don't have much interest in this Batman. We'll see. And you know what? I went from being interested to not interested to somewhat interested to not interested again. So this has been a yo-yo for me. I don't know how the rest of you all feel. But
I'm just glad that we're actually talking about the character versus the comic versus this era in the character's history versus its other versus having to deal with virtue signaling and crap like that in it.
Yeah.
So far we're just having normal.
It's a better conversation.
It is a much better conversation, and I totally agree. I just like I said on Saturday, it's just like my problem is that from all the trailers I've seen, everything looks great except the title character, except Robert Pattinson himself.
I don't know. You think the Riddler looks great? The Riddler looks horrible.
Okay, until we saw the designs, until we saw the toys. Yeah.
Hey guys,
I didn't even recognize him.
Real quick, I have an exclusive shot from the film Furiosa.
Oh God!
You guys ready? Here it is. This is. I'm breaking news right here. Here we go. Apparently, they're shooting in Canada. And Trudeau's going to make an appearance in the film.
Yeah, no, he does. It's called Running Away Scared Extra number 2.
Oh, I tested negative for COVID, but I'm going to take precautions just in case. Bye for 5 days.
And testing is important. So being as we are not doctors, we are not going to talk about any medical advice here on the show.
Well, I didn't even say tested for what,
okay. All right. Yeah. But there you go. This is an incredible promotion right here for the upcoming Furiosa film. I'm very excited. I don't know if you guys are excited for that, but
I'm excited
based on that photo, absolutely, I'm pretty pumped. We were going to talk about something, but I want to dip into a weird thing, right? And this will be fun because that was fun to talk about Batman. Like, that was going to be interesting at all. Batman. Yeah, there you go. let's do this. So every once in a while, there's this knucklehead on HBO who actually sometimes says sane things. And recently, he did it again in his new rules segment that he does in every one of his shows. And I have to tell you, it's weird when he comes off sounding more like a center-left libertarian than what he describes himself as. He says, "This is Bill Maher," a quote from his show. From Real Time. "It's not me who's changed. It's the left. They've gone mental and made me a hero." Now, without getting political on the stream, because we don't like to do an in-depth discussion of politics, this is kind of a weird take. Does anybody want to take a stab at this?
That's me in a nutshell. That's me. I've been saying it for years. I've never changed like what I believe in, like anything like that. But like I have seen people I know go so far crazy left but they like still say that they're, Democrat or, very liberal. And I'm just like, dude, that's so not me anymore. But because of that, they're like, man, you're really conservative. Are you sure you're not Republican? I'm like, what happened?
Yeah.
But he doesn't just say it, though. He also goes on to demonstrate examples of some of the craziness that you're seeing on the left, from the protest over Mr. Potato Head, the gender neutral aisles in the toy section, the pregnant man emoji.
Yep,
that was
that's
released recently.
Apple's going to do right now. Yep.
He showed exactly why he hasn't changed. He still wants to advocate for labor or whatever, regulation of big corporations, things that liberals used to talk about.
Yeah.
But today they talk about the most superficial, childish, ignorant things that they can come up with.
Yeah.
I have a question about the pregnant man emoji. Did they consult Arnold Schwarzenegger from the movie Junior first?
Don't know.
Oh,
No.
Jesus.
Doubt it.
He was pregnant in that movie.
I highly doubt it, though.
I mean,
nipples are sensitive.
There you go.
I would love if they actually did.
Yeah. But I just thought this was interesting because, again, I've always found him to be, somewhat funny. I disconnected from him for a
I've
couple
never
of years.
hated him, but I get why people don't like him. But like he was just kind of meandering for a while there, but then he finally found his way. But then it's just ironic that he's just saying a lot of the shit that we've been thinking for the last 3 years. He's just finally coming around to it.
It's bizarre, and it's just it's a weird place to live, right? In that a time when he believes that everybody ran away from him to the extreme side of the equation, and many of us feel the same way. It's like,
he says everything that we've been thinking.
I've kind of been annoyed by it though, because it took him a while to get there, and you could tell he was tiptoeing around it forever before he actually did. And I feel like he waited too long in a way. Like he was afraid to tackle it.
It's getting worse though. Like every day it's something stupid and outlandish that they're doing or trying to promote, to the point where you can't even believe some of the stuff is real.
Exactly. Exactly. It was like with Bill Maher, it's like, okay, I agree. He's been on the ball with a lot of stuff in the recent years. I'm still have my own trepidations towards him and such, because back in 2018, when Stan Lee passed away, he was making a stint about comic books and blaming comics for the reason that we got the Orange Man in office.
Wow.
I still can't forgive him for that.
That's a weird take.
That's a bizarre take.
He is exactly. Look, he may be saying some of the right things now, and I've always, I'll give them credit when credit is due. But he's still someone who suffers from massive TDS, and has been part of the problem over the years. More often than if he's saying the right things now, that's great. Give him credit when he does it. But he's one of the reasons a lot of this crap that we're having now. He's still part of the problem.
And this is
exactly. I can give him credit for a lot of things, especially the time that I think it was the Alaskan senator who called Gina Carano a white supreme, and he came out. He barely stood up the bat for her.
on his show.
On his show.
I remember. I do remember that. But let me. I want everybody to reflect on this, right? Because I mean, I've never had really. I mean, outside from when I was very young, I really haven't been staunchly on one side of the equation or the other, because I'm in that rare middle ground, right? And it's a strange place to be. So when people are coming around, right, and they're realizing and recognizing the things that have been happening in front of us for a decade or maybe less, depending upon your point of view, one of the most important things to do is just react with, well, we're glad you're here, and not we told you so, or
you're right.
you don't want to shame the people who are making the realizations, because it's not how you're going to garner the support that needs to happen to turn the bus around. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm not gonna hold it against. I mean, like, Bill Maher, I'm glad that he's saying stuff now, and I don't feel like he's pretending. I wish he had said something a lot earlier.
Yeah, well,
it had to get really insane for him to come to start seeing some of it, and that's what I'm saying. He had to get knocked over the head with insanity pretty good before he started, saying some things that make a lot of sense. And yeah, you're right. Welcome to the club.
And I don't think you should necessarily take it as that welcoming. Like, he's not necessarily invited to the cookout just because on a few points you agree with him. I think people have to be taken, their opinion has to be taken on the issue at hand. So he sees some of the outlandish stuff that's happening here. That's great. We agree on those points. We're still going to disagree on other things, and that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
I just don't trust him. I really don't. I really don't trust him.
Well,
it's kind of like.
Go ahead. No, please, AFK.
He's kind of like the neighbor who, he doesn't complain when there's a domestic dispute next door, but then if it rolls over into his lawn, he gets really angry at it.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a good point. That is a very well made point.
It's like a lot of people, yeah.
Wow. There's
it wasn't affecting him. It was fine. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, please, Mike. Go ahead.
I was just saying, when it wasn't affecting him as much, he was kind of fine with a lot of those people. But he always did give voice to both sides. I'll give him that. Or all sides, I should say.
I also think he's also being a little bit more hyper-focused on lately, is because since the whole Whoopi Goldberg thing and her shining a light on him, I think he's being a little bit more hyper-focused on in general. So people are starting to pay a little bit more attention to him and seeing what he's saying. He's not always going to be right. He should, like McAnee says and others say, give credit to what he does say, where he's pointing these things out that we've known for a while. It doesn't give you retribution. It just means, hey, I licked the black pill and I saw something different today. Let's put it on the show. It doesn't mean they're still changing themselves. That takes a lot of time.
Yeah, but I mean, this isn't the first time he said something. And again, I mean, I'm not standing up for him. I was just curious. I was trying to keep it less political around the discussion. But
Oh, sorry.
No, I was just going to say, Dark Shadow Logan says Bill came around when it was less consequential to him. He is no hero. I'm not holding him up as a hero.
Look,
I'm just saying, we can't, continue to attack people who are actually coming around. They need to be welcomed into the conversation.
Yes. Absolutely. Look, we take our victories where we can find them, and he's reaching people that maybe I wouldn't be able to reach, and CC wouldn't be able to reach, and other folks on the panel wouldn't be able to reach. So it's welcome. It's welcome.
And I understand where Morb is coming from, right? More 357 says BS. I shame the heck out of them, so they learn a lesson. I'll never forgive them. Never forgive. And I see this perspective all the time, and I have a lot of people that I know that align with this.
Yes.
But there are certain times when we can feel that way. I don't know. Maybe we have to again try to form a coalition around the idea that some of the folks are going to be this going to be a place that we struggle, and we're going to have to struggle to bring everybody back together. But I get it.
Which means you do have to learn some of forgiveness as well. Forgiveness is not a bad thing. So I kind of disagree a little bit.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. I mean,
forgiveness can be important.
You're not going to win unless you bring people over to your side, and that means conversion. And again, take your victories where you can find them. I understand the sentiment that Morb was talking about. I've seen it too, CC. I mean, we've both seen it, and we've talked about it backstage a few times. And it's just, it's interesting. I mean, the controversy over Frosk going on Quarterine's channel. I mean, I'm surprised at some of the responses I've gotten from that. I mean, how can that be anything other than a good thing? I don't get it.
Well, and again, I mean, if sometimes you just acknowledge that they've people have come around to thinking the right way, and you can still feel how you want to about it. In fact, I'm going to address one of those in the chat in just a second. But Jayne Theory, you typed this, read this, because this is true.
Yeah, both parties sucked during the 1800s, and the parties as political entities do not care about the people, and they never have. They care about power and control, division, and winning and sustaining themselves. It's no coincidence that they sort of go back and forth when it comes to issues that we care about. But when it comes to things they care about, they seem somehow to be on the same page. When it's raises for them or more money for them in their pet projects or spying on the American people or taking away our rights or not really standing up for our freedoms, they're fine with it. They have no problem. But when it comes to things that we actually care about, that we fight about in the social sphere, they're nowhere to be seen unless they're stoking the fire.
Right, and that's the problem is, and I don't want to do that, right? I mean, Jaffa points out, and this is something that is an unforgivable act to say things this way that essentially hurt and damaged people. Again, that's why I understand where Morb's coming from, and everybody else that's on this side.
Yeah,
that it's like, look, it's worth pointing out that Bill said back in 2020 he'd be fine if people lose jobs if it means no more Orange Man. And you know what? Look, you draw that thing, you wreck people's lives, you've destroyed your karma. I mean, that's how I look at it. I mean, you're karmatically negative at that point, and you're not wrong, Morb. You are dealing with darn near psychopaths. I won't characterize everybody as that. And
it's a good point to make.
I'm not projecting my humanity on them at all. I don't think you should.
I'm not saying they're wrong, and that's one of the great things about the fellowship is that we all have these different opinions and we can disagree, and we lead by example. That's what we do. And having somebody on that, I mean, again, going back to Clobberin and Frost, I mean, this woman made a fool of herself for 3 minutes. Can you imagine what happens if she gets to talk for like 3 hours, specifically on that topic? The insights you can get, and who cares if it gets spun as an alt-right thing? They're already doing it.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. And we don't run away from those. I think I'm not running away from the name calling. You can call me whatever names you want. I mean, I've had family members call me some absolutely horrific things in the last year. And it's just like, okay, well, sorry. I mean, I haven't changed. So something else changed. And Blue-Eyed Roof Curry in the base for $5 says Maher's distancing himself from an inevitable and impending culling of the 0.01% elites. Welcome to the party, pal, but a little too late. Fair weather fraud. I don't think your assessment is wrong. Yeah, but you need those voices that might have some form of influence. And again, I understand not forgiving them. That's not what I'm talking about. And I'll just leave that there. So,
but this is interesting because you're seeing the debate here in our chat and how people are feeling, and that you have people that don't want to and feel like they've been burned, or that there's going to be a trick. And I kind of feel like that's kind of the approach that the opposition has taken, that the SJWs have taken. So I don't want to go down that road myself, but I understand it. I do understand it. I understand why you feel that way. I do.
I think people should have more conversations, though, and also do it from the perspective of how do we come to a solution, as opposed to just constantly being antagonistic, because that's the thing that's turning a lot of people away from politics in general. I know I personally, except for platforms like this or conversations like this, I don't even talk about it anymore. I don't even care anymore about who's running what. It's all so hateful and toxic, truly,
it is.
that I don't even want to deal with. I mute people.
Word politics is bad.
And let me just wrap this up and get to these super chats so we can move on to basically wrapping up the show, because we're running a little long, and I do try to give everybody the full 90 minutes plus, which we did today. Again, these are good conversations to have, and I appreciate everybody doing it. Even if you don't agree with us 100%, man, I just want you to know we really do appreciate you. A Blue-Eyed Roof Korea in the base for another $5 says, oh wait, I think I already did this, right? Yeah, I did this one.
Can I just make one more statement here? So yeah, and this will complete my thought. But I like that speech in Rocky Balboa where he's talking to his son, and he says, "Life's not about the punches you throw; it's about how much you can take." Yeah. And that's
how much you can get back up.
Yeah, and keep getting back up, and that's what it is. And if people are going to attack you and they're going to be negative or spin it in some way, I mean, that's their problem, not your problem.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Right. And it's true. But Mr. Gregory for an Australian $2. Hail, my friend, and my editor, guys. If you've been liking the new videos, he's one of the reasons why I've got both him and YetiCast doing editing for me, which makes life a lot simpler. So thank you for that. He says, hail, what an awesome panel. Hail to you all. Thank you for that, Mr. Grant Gregory. And finally, Blue-Eyed Roof Korean the base for $2 in reference to the Batman conversation we were having. I wore face makeup all the time as an army sniper. Yeah, you always do. Yeah, absolutely. 100%. I don't have a problem with any of that, to be honest with you.
No problem at all.
And somebody said something nice in the chat. Jaffo actually said something nice. Yes, I feel like my entire audience is family, even when they disagree with me. So I get it. Believe me, I really do. So thank you all. Thank you, Dark Shadow Logan. I do appreciate the support. All of you out there who tolerated my inane yammering today, I really do appreciate it. And I have to say thank you to all the great guests and panelists that have showed up today. Any last words before we go around the horn and say goodbye to everyone?
Are we done?
Yeah,
it's just become so polarizing. It's become so like just I don't like talking about it. I don't want to talk about it, and I hate the fact that it just like sometimes in Raw I think the I hate the most is that it has gotten me to talk about it. Once in a while it'll just because it's so polarizing, because I can't escape it, that it's made me angry that I have to talk about it at sometimes. I really don't like that. And I'm the more I see it, because like I said this last night on Sporking News podcast, I'm somebody who believes that, this whole pendulum should just swing back towards the middle, but that's never going to happen. Never going to happen again. Not in this time. And it made me think like, I'm afraid the only thing that's going to, everything that's just going to negate all, or at least ease everything up that's going on is possible separation.
Well, no, I don't, and I'm not going to go there. And again,
I'm not going to go there, but yeah,
that's as much political stuff as I want to do.
Yeah, I'm not going.
I'm with what a Daenerys originally wanted to do. I want to break the wheel. That's all I want to do. And with that being said, so let's do this. We're going to say goodbye to everybody. We're going to start with the man with limited, with the limited internet today, the man that I respect very much for his veteran status and somebody I want to hear more from. Shellbach, TJC.
Vote for Pedro.
Okay, excellent. Love that. Not quite what we were looking for, but thanks for that, my friend. Of course, next up we have the ever wonderful and insightful AFK Bar.
Oh yeah, sorry, I was all over the place today. I don't know. Thanks for letting me hang out with you. I think y'all are really cool. Make sure you check out everybody here. I think we've proven that everybody can have like different opinions, but at the same time agree on different things. And I think out of all the topics we talked about today, that's the one lesson we should all walk away from, that the healthiest relationship is when you can acknowledge that there are differences with the other person and be okay with it. And a lot of stuff nowadays, the problems fall down to division. So your best bet is to go talk to your neighbor, and maybe they don't like your lawn, but maybe they like golf and you like golf, and you can talk about it. So there you go.
Yeah, no, thank you for that. We have a lot of wise words in our fellowship, and I want to say thank you for those. Of course, then I immediately go to Fat Steven Seagal for additional wisdom.
Is that sarcasm?
No.
Okay. What am I supposed to do now?
Your outro.
My outro. Well, yeah, I do gaming. I do the lunch table with Lorena. Welcome to Florida. Babylon 5s on Mondays. And this show that has no name. That's something that's been coming around. Other than that, respect thy neighbor. You don't have to like them. Respect the opinion of an opposite individual, because they'll never think like you, and your day will be a lot easier. And if they don't want to respect you, what the hell are you talking to them? Move on and just find someone else that you actually can appreciate that appreciates you just the same. And Tom, where's my $500?
That's a good question. Where is the $500? Speaking of Tom, thank you, Tom, for joining us today. It was a lovely surprise. I love when you're here. Thoughts, ideas, outro, anything?
I'm just listening to the new Neil Young song. I'm so white, I'm racist.
Ooh, I love that
Sorry, I
remix.
was distracted.
I love it.
Every time I think of it, I make a big fist. Oh God, why'd you make me so white? I'm racist.
Oh my goodness. All right. Well, thank you for that, Tom. We have the very talented artist, and wow, just look what he did in that short 90 minutes.
Nice.
Well done.
That
sir.
paper is too.
Anyway,
Go ahead, Mark.
Listen,
To the
we don't
sound.
talk. I don't talk politics. I don't talk this shit. No, we talk art, and that's what my channel's about, and that's what I want to be about. And come over to my channel right after this. That's what we're doing. We're talking straight art. I'm going to be doing a full color of this one right after it. So I'm still deciding on the color scheme, but it's all promotional material for my Twitch channel, of course, where we kick things into high gear, Machiny Type R. Come over to the channel if you guys want some, have some fun. We'll talk color, we'll talk art, we'll get into stories about stuff like this. That's where the place to be. That's
Awesome.
what I love doing. That's who I am.
Awesome, man. And your art is just killing it, bro. Thank you so much for
Yes.
everything you do for us all.
Excellent.
And yeah, guys, do check out Machiny Draws in just a few moments when he gets his stream up and running. Lots of great artists over there. I love their drawings, Grifter, 100%. So, of course, one of my longest friends and panelists here, Mr. Wes Moody, the Wes Moody Webcast.
Hey, everybody. Well, I just want to say, first off, I do talk about politics and that my political opinions are non-binary. I don't fall into the left-right paradigm. I'm Wes Moody, the Wes Moody Webcast. Talk about current events, pop culture, occasional car talk, conspiracy theories, and I will vlog about whatever the heck I want to because it's my webcast. I hope to see you there, my friends. I'm on the verge of 10 million subs. I just have 9,999,000 and 245 to go. Appreciate
Yeah,
your sub.
see, we should probably get there by the end of the stream at this rate.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I mean, I just need to get my Ouija board out and get some people from the cemetery subbing.
And of course, absolutely. And of course, the comics man himself that you guys should be not only subscribed to, but do check out the great live streams he does with just incredible panelists. Also, many of my friends. It's Mr. Clobberin Times.
Well, thank you so much for having me here. It's been an honor to be with you, sir, a channel I watch all the time, and all these great guests and panelists and stuff that I know a few of them, even Fat Steven, but he's okay sometimes. Sorry, I haven't picked on you in a while.
Hey, I don't tell people about your Funko collection. Chill out, boy. It's all good.
You're the Funko boy here.
No,
I
you're
love
the
you,
Funko
man.
boy. I love you too.
You are. No.
You're my
Culture,
Clobby.
The Funko hate.
That's a long story, but anyway, yes, this is as political as I've ever gotten on here on the YouTubes. I just do comic stuff. Monday night, Mark C Comics Talk, and classic comics review tomorrow night with the great Mark D with a C. I do Saturday night Star Trek and many other different shows. And a week from this Wednesday, February the 9th, I'll be celebrating my 1,000th episode of Clobberin Time.
Awesome.
So Culture, I'd be honored if I know you're a busy man, but if you would stop in and visit. And so I will be sending invites to other dear friends.
Of course.
Just a big long celebration that Wednesday, and I appreciate you having me. And thank you.
No, thank you for being here. And the well, I'm going to put it this way: probably one of the best voices ever on the planet and in YouTube is the ever lovely Jayne Theory, who has a channel, and again, probably the best voice I've ever heard.
Oh, thank you, Pyro. Thank you for having me. This has been awesome. I don't talk a whole lot about politics on my channel, mostly entertainment stuff. But I do point out some of the hypocrisy in Hollywood and some of the efforts on their part to control our entertainment in the worst possible ways. So if you want to check that out, you can find me on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Twitch at Jayne Theory. Hope to see you around.
Oh, thank you, Jayne. I really do appreciate it, you guys. This was one of the best panels we've had. I love hanging out with all of you. I always feel so privileged because we get to talk. And today we got talked about some good stuff. Nobody lost like any blood or anything like that, so that's good. I want to say thank you to Morb for the compliment. And of course, like I said, I love that we can hang out, talk, and everybody parts friends and comes back for the next one, because that's what we have to do. And with that being said, to all you in the chat, thank you for your support, the super chats, those of you that are members. I appreciate that so very much. Mead Radio coming up, of course, Machini's live draw stream. You got all of the things Fat Steven does, and then
crying in a closet with cheesecake.
That too. And then tonight is the Welcome to Florida stream over on Lorena Creole's channel, which is, we're going to talk about the raining iguanas that are happening right now. So the new video for the member credits is finished, but it didn't get uploaded as it finished during the stream. So as of tomorrow, the new member credits will be up with all the new members. Thank you for that. We've gained 9 new members this month. So thank you all for that. Appreciate it. So be sure to take care of yourself, take care of others, wash your hands, of course, because it's good hygiene. And until next time,
I'm pregnant. I'm much more by than you are. Old man, look at you.
Dwarf lives matter.
I was ready to go for another hour.
This stream is brought to you by High Chairs, because Dinklage needs to see the top of the table.
Hey.
But what's the movie about? They still haven't been updated. What the hell?
Sunday review. What you gonna do? Sis man, look at my life. I'm more bi than you are.
Just remember, culture stories matter.
Who's not yet released? I never see them in the chat.
Suck a dick and save a life.
Just wash your ass.